all around. I've been locked up for driving 120 through town. I've been shot at and cut with a knife, messing around with another man's wife. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Threw my boss out the window and got fired for my last job. Hot wired a city truck and turned it over.
Cup of coffee. It's really, man, that's odd. Ash never has 2 cups of coffee at home.
Wait till it kicks in.
Wow. Somewhere between like a slight buzz and a colonic is, you don't want that.
That's where
coffee.
I am this morning.
Yeah. I know guys that used to get up in the morning and like before they brushed their teeth, they took a dip and they're like, well, it helps me go to the bathroom. I'm like, man, what a trade-off. You got a mouthful of Copenhagen at 6:30 in the morning? Haven't brushed your teeth yet?
Takes care of morning breath, too.
Wow.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter
folks.
Show.
Didn't know y'all were here.
Ash and Brent with you on a Thursday morning.
Very highly orchestrated, professional broadcast.
Second last day of January.
It is. I'm really proud of the professional manner in which we handle ourselves. The Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at
Dearland Feed.
the little gin that could for over 50 years. AT Dearland Feed, meeting all of your needs. The other day with no hesitation, reached up on the shelf. I have 2, grabbed one of
Red funnels.
my red funnels because I needed to I've learned something. I'll pass it along to you. It's too expensive to use in your lawnmowers and all of that. But I use that 4-cycle fuel. It's not really gasoline. It's probably got a real high alcohol content.
Actually, probably has no alcohol.
I mix it with something, have a slug of that. But I put it into my power washer, things that you don't use that often. If they have a really small venturi down in that carburetor and to mystify the fuel. And if you use pump gas, it builds up a gummy, the detergents in it. And all that. Yeah, and that's a pain. So I use that fuel. And
at $30 a gallon?
It is expensive, but I tell you what, that thing runs hot. And I had to use my Dearland funnel. 99 cents, still 99 cents. Clearly the lost leader in the store. 69 degrees in Victoria under cloudy skies. It's going to be rainy today, heading to a high of 73. Starting at 8 a.m., 50, 50, 40, 35.
Yeah, I don't think they're calling for a lot of rain, just a steady drizzle.
It's just going to be wet. My back patio is just wet.
It's nasty.
It's nasty.
Just enough to make the dirt gummy. And
Mark Kurt's the first one in. Daniel Wade White, followed by Scott Tomko. Ricky Champagne King, Greg Garcia. There's the ladies. Wendy Hughes Garcia, Judge Posey, Amanda King, Jordan Glass, Marvin Mickish. There's Tammy Keeling, Bobby Leister, Scott Snow, Mark Zapata, Micah Patton, Johnny Houghton. Headed to the YYC. Come on. Jarrett McCrugan. That's a cousin from Canada. Diana Hawes, John Paul Hall, Copenhagen. What a water flavor. Amen. Just a pinch.
Just a pinch.
Between your
cheek and gum.
Between your cheek and chemo. Jared Glass, Renee Medding. And Renee Medding, I always think of that as being like a 70s TV show producer. That was actually
Aaron Spelling.
Yeah, same guy. Casey Lynn Kemp. Possible. No, I know Casey Lynn. She's a sweetheart. She's not a serial killer. Will Vincent in. I gave Will Vincent a high five the other day. You know that guy's been at HEB for 30 years?
Yeah.
Started when he was 5.
Crazy.
Yeah. Heather Kraft Stewart, Lisa Poole, Justin Glass.
Renee Medding says, had we heard about the earthquake near Karn City? It's fracking.
I think that was because
fracking related.
I think that earthquake near Karn City was because Ole Miss beat Texas in basketball last night. Yeah, it's just Texas being left out after the fires in California. I don't know how big an earthquake it was. I know that when you disrupt
4.5 magnitude.
Yeah, it's almost directly between Victoria and San Antonio on that line, kind of northwest out of Victoria. But
12 miles from, there was another one this morning, 12 miles near Poth, 2.6 miles. So in that neighborhood, right?
there you go. Magnitude 2.6.
Yeah, that's what I meant. 12 miles from Poth.
4.5 is pretty good. Now, I did not know.
Near Falls City.
I did not know that, like, when you go from 4.5, or say you go from 4 to 5, it's not like 5 is 25% more than 4 or 20% more than 4. It's 25% more than 4. But at any rate, it's like it's an exponential multiplier. It's like 1, 3, 9, 81. That's the intensity of the magnitude.
Yeah. Karnes City,
scale.
the Karnes County earthquake was at a depth of 2.3 miles.
2.3 miles would be a pretty deep dig. Not really, though. If you're drilling down 11,000 feet, there you are, 12. Look at that. Felt in Floresville. Go back one little click. Felt in Floresville, very scary. Shook our home, one user wrote.
Yep.
Okay, well, we're not exactly California. If anything happens, you'll have an earthquake here and oil will come spewing out of the ground.
Absolutely.
It was somebody, some money.
Interesting. Hadn't heard that one.
There you have it.
There you go. There's the latest on that.
There's the latest on it. The biggest news, I think, of the day.
U.S. Geological Survey providing all that.
Thank you for that credibility statement. Biggest news of the day was last night 10 o'clock D.C. time, when a American Airlines commuter jet with 60 plus people on board and a crew was intersected by a United States military Black Hawk helicopter with 3 service members on it. And Donnie was monitoring it in real time on several of her outlets to see that they plucked 4 survivors out of the water almost immediately. And they now are announcing that they don't expect any further survivors. I don't know if they got numbers 5, 6, 7 or not. I know that they had 4 that were alive, but I think there were 60 people on board the aircraft with 3 or 4 crew members, and then the 3 on the military. The 3 on the helicopter are gone.
Yeah.
But apparently the American Airlines plane was coming in for a landing and was intersected somehow by this Black Hawk helicopter.
Whatever it is, 860 helicopter, which is the Black Hawk, which I believe this is the first commercial airline crash in the U.S. since February of 2009, when that Colgan airplane landed short of the runway in Buffalo.
Wow.
So almost 16 full years.
If you have any data, if you've heard anything, if you have anything you want to share, you can always dial 361-894-4020. Give us a call. We'll get you on the air with us.
You've got a fixed wing aircraft in the Bombardier or Canadair CRJ.
Which is Canada Regional Jet.
Yeah, but I think it's made by Bombardier, if I'm not mistaken.
It's a great aircraft.
Yeah.
It's a lot like what we fly out of here. About that size. Well, bigger than plane. That. Is it? That thing won't hold 60.
Yeah. No, ours is a little smaller, but I think it's similar plane. But the I just have a hard time believing that there was any ill intent by Black Hawk pilots to plow into that thing. And that's, the conspiracy theorists are out
in full force
already. Yeah. And it's frustrating.
It would be very difficult to do that. I likened it this morning.
Fixed wing versus a rotary wing, and they don't fly anywhere near the same speeds. Even when coming into a landing, they're not close.
That American Airlines plane's going almost 200 miles an hour, and it's coming right over the top. The likelihood is much akin to when Randy Johnson hit that pigeon at a baseball game and exploded it. And the logistics are probably about the same too. Randy throwing the ball around 200 miles an hour and the pigeon on cruise control at about 80.
Coming in for a landing,
Yeah, and boom. By the way, that was great video. And people were upset about that, but they didn't know why. That was like the beginning of fake outrage. It was like he threw a baseball. The bird flew in the path. The bird got killed. And like people were like,
He meant to do it.
Baseball is so brutal. I'm like, unbelievable. The guy just, the bird, the bird learned a tough lesson. Didn't want to kill it. Felt like I owed it to it.
What was the last thing that ran through that pigeon's mind?
What you need is that one guy from like
the ball,
Nicaragua runs out there, grabs that pigeon by the head and wrings its neck, pops its head off, takes it back to the
I
dugout.
don't think there was any left.
Right? It exploded.
Poof. But this is just, it's tragic situation in DC. I believe the airport's going to be shut down at least. Well, they originally was going to be shut down for another day, but no, they said this morning that they were going to get at least one runway up and operating to start getting flights in and out of there. So
from the you can't do this anymore department, I was down at South Padre Island once, and people were throwing up Doritos and popcorn and things, and the seagulls, which are such a pest.
Yeah.
But they are protected because they're not a bird with a season. Therefore, you can't just kill them. And it was a girl, actually, flipped up an Alka-Seltzer. And the seagull just engulfed it, and the seagull flew off, and about 10 seconds later, boom. It's just like, didn't work. It
worked exactly as she designed it to.
Which
She's probably
terrible.
She's probably killed people since then.
Right? She probably has her middle name in her Facebook account.
Oh, so
I bet I could find her.
Gary
Search.
Bump, good morning. Andrew Alvarez checking in. Stephanie Conde, Lisa Poole, Junior Samples, Sarah Elkins. Who else is coming in?
Good morning,
DJ
Kerry Bump.
Nelson. Jason Brannon, good morning.
Hey, JB.
Justin Glass. I think we got everybody now.
Will says
Like and share the
started when he
videos.
was 25 years old at HB. Is he your age?
I guess so.
Would have had him younger than you. I mean, I think of us. I know I'm older than you, but I'm still 18 inside.
Yeah, me
Any
too.
of you guys out there starting to get that old man skin? I was at JP Hull's house the other day and bumped my hand on his gate. I bled like I was
8 stitches.
hemophiliac. Yeah. It's crazy.
Not there yet.
No. What do you make of? Do you take any exception at all to Christy Nome? Is it Christy Nome?
Yeah.
Loading up in the ice gear. She's got on the vest and the helmet. Of course, her hair's perfect, but she's got on the helmet and all that. She went on the raids in wherever it was, New York or whatever. Are we past photo opportunities now as a country? Are we kind of past it? Do you really think the Secretary of
I think we should be.
Secretary of National Security?
Homeland
or whatever?
Secretary, yeah.
Yeah,
Homeland
I'm sure she just went right out there and rounded her up some illegals.
Well, maybe they'll take him to Guantanamo.
Yeah.
President Trump yesterday says migrants will be held at Guantanamo and suggests up to 30,000 of them could be housed there.
I think there's probably a lot going on at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba that we just don't know and don't necessarily want to know. Right?
Surprised we still have Guantanamo.
Well, if it wasn't for Jack Nicholson, we might not. Isn't that where he was? In A Few Good Men? Wasn't he at Guantanamo
yeah.
Bay?
President Trump says we have 30,000 beds in Guantanamo to detain the worst criminal illegal aliens threatening the American people. He says some of them are so bad we don't even trust the countries to hold them when we send them back because we don't want them coming back here.
Well, they might come back angry. They were just trying to start over.
Think of the move from Maduro down in Venezuela on this one. He opens up his prisons, which were overcrowded, and now we're going to house Venezuelan criminals on the U.S. taxpayer dimes.
We could do that here. We could go over to the sheriff's office, open those doors, and just send those people to Bloomington. Of course, that might raise the relative.
I don't know. We couldn't put them there because there's issues on the water quality there now.
But that might actually, it might actually raise Bloomington a little bit.
Human rights people would be, you need.
Timmy Keeling wants to know if Mythbusters is still a thing. I think there is still a show called Mythbusters.
Junior Sample says seagulls can't fart or burp. Thank
Deep
you for
thoughts
that.
about Junior. I can tell you that they will explode.
Fact check.
Flowers, feathers go flying everywhere.
Captain Adrian checking in. Good morning to you, sir.
Tonight reminds me, tonight at 10 o'clock, I can't believe I'm plugging it. Ash Price kicking me under the table.
Debbie Griffiths, good morning.
Crossroads tonight, 10 o'clock, running their expose with Montgomery Perez is going to talk to you about the horrors, the tragedy, the sham, the mockery, the Travis Schumachery that will be the deepening and widening. Oh, the horror of the Calhoun port. Never mind the fact that it invites big dollar companies to come to our
till
region.
10 to watch the news.
Nobody stays up till 10 to watch anything. Mythbusters ended March 5th, 2016. Nobody stays up to watch Channel 25. Has anybody had any experience? Have you, as someone who's in the news via UHV Athletics, has anybody had any experience with the new ownership regime at the Victoria Advocate?
Have not.
Has anybody come out and introduced themselves as being from the Advocate or any of that? It's not local anymore. Okay.
I mean, there's been no change in the sports department, so.
Well, that's
Gabe and
the
Mike
sports department is Mike Foreman, which John Ball Hall says 30,000 open beds. Seems like a lot of open beds. Well, they're in detention cages. They're cages with cots. Melania's down there decorating.
Well, we've given up. We've released so many terrorists. Just giving them back.
Man, that's a tough place. I guarantee you there's stuff going on there.
No more waterboarding.
Yeah. A graduate student in Texas is among a group of pregnant mothers suing the Trump administration, arguing the executive order on birthright citizenship violates the Constitution. She worries her baby could be denied health care or education. Well,
I'd be curious to know because it's behind a paywall and I couldn't get into the story on CNN.
We're a little pinchy here. Yeah. We run on a budget.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to know. Here's the question. Is she here on a visa? Then she really isn't subject to. Then if she's here on a student visa, she's still subject to the laws of whatever country she's from.
And she just decided to go ahead and have a baby while she's in grad school. Knock yourself out, girl. You go, girl. Here's my thought.
How pregnant is she? 9 months?
I don't have a problem. And again, we're tripping over dimes and missing the dollars here. I don't have a problem with birthright citizenship. Birthright citizenship does not guarantee birthright residence for the non-American parents. So here's the deal. You want to have a kid here. Stop me if I'm wrong. You want to have a kid here. I'm fine. That baby's an American. Give it a passport. Give it a social security number. Let's call that baby an American. If mom and dad, if the family needs to be deported, well, you can either give the kid up for adoption and keep it here in America, or you can take the kid with you, and when it's 18 years old, it's a citizen. It can come back. But you're not here, and you're not going to use your reproductive organs to stay in our country. Am I being unfair? Is life fair?
14th Amendment, Section 1. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws.
There you go. The baby's protected. To me, the baby's an American. That's fine. Mom and dad, not so much. Okay. So you make the call, Mom. you can leave and take the child with you.
The subject of the jurisdiction thereof is the phrase that always, to me, is the qualifier.
What does that mean even? If you live in the United States and you're subject to our laws, if you fall under the purview of the Constitution?
To me, I take a little bit more liberal approach to it.
What does that mean?
If you're here as a guest illegally, you're not a citizen. You're above. The only jurisdiction we would have is to kick your ass out of here and get you back to wherever you're from if you break our laws.
Right. So is the
but that's not how the Supreme Court sees it, obviously.
And that's fine. They're going to interpret it the most advantageous way for the masses. And your way is more constrictive, right? Your way is a little more conservative. And I'm looking at it and saying, I'm fine. Give the kid a passport. Give the kid a social security number. That kid can grow up in Guatemala and know in the back of his head, I'm going to keep my nose clean. I'm not going to get arrested. And when I'm 18, I'm going to Texas. I'm going to the United States. Legally, I'm going to walk through the airport with my passport and go, here I am. I'm an American citizen.
Wendy Hughes Garcia says she's here on a student visa. There you go. I mean,
BJ Nelson calls them anchor babies. I agree. And
everybody calls them that.
Load them up, send them back. And BJ is studying this exact situation. Wasn't she born on a base? I don't know. I'm just looking at the big picture and saying there's not enough of them. They're not going to make a dent in our immigration process.
I don't know. The number's 12 million illegals. I assume half of them are, since half the world's population is female, there's 6 million. 6 million.
6 million.
And they all have babies.
And they tell two people, and they tell two people. And the next thing you know, well, a balsam is a big deal.
It is. But again, I'm no constitutional Supreme Court appointee, so.
Fact check that.
But that's the clause for me that tends to say, you know what, you're here as a guest. You're not here,
subject to our jurisdiction.
Yeah, we'll send you back home and bye-bye.
Is it possible?
I mean, it's the same thing. She's here on a student visa. There are things that she can't do while here. And if she falls out of compliance with that visa, they send her back home. Not taking enough hours, not being enrolled full time, not being face-to-face on campus. Then the list goes on and on.
Torrin Bell says, not sure. Can you go to any other country and have a baby and the baby is a legalized citizen of that country? Is it that way in Canada?
I believe it.
Are you a dual citizen? If Donnie and I went to Canada and she was great with child and the time came for her to deliver, would that baby be, because it would be an immaculate conception at this point.
See, then you're on vacation. I'm not sure at this point. Like, I don't know how vacation.
But the baby drops in Montreal,
I hope you had travel insurance to cover the pregnancy.
Is that kid a Canadian?
That's a good question. That I don't know.
Jarrett McCready wants to know, will Trump deport Ash? No, he can't. Ash is a citizen.
Nope.
There's State Rep, House District 30, A.J. Lauterbach. Good morning, sir.
Could deport our uncle, though. He's only on a green card, I think.
There you go. Stephanie Conti says one of our Supreme Court judges can't even identify a woman or define a woman, right? So you're probably just as qualified,
probably so.
Just as knowledgeable. You want to take that break?
We need to take a break. We got to get better at this. If we look to do what we want to do.
Yeah, I want to. So I see BJ Nelson listening, and I want to emphasize the quality of our sponsorships. I can tell you every day, 550-1826, White Trash Services,
You'll
White
have
Trash
to call
Services.
them. You'll talk to a person.
But I also want to tell you this. You can go right there on your screen. You can go to our Facebook page. You can go to our website, which has been totally redone by Brand Us. You can go to WadeandCarter.com, and there are links directly to all of our sponsors. Sponsorship of Wade and Carter is much bigger than a 20-second verbal spewing of affection every day. So some days we don't get to telling you that Chesnick and Love make your house a home, but Bobby Leon knows that we coined that phrase and that you just always do better at Chesnick. People get that. There is value. You can't reach more Victorians daily.
For the price.
For the price, for sure, than you can with Wade and Carter sponsorship. Feel free to call, drop us a note, come by anytime you want. Ads and Offer at adsandoffer.com promoting the new 25 Chevy Corvette. There's one that's either electric or partly electric. And there's also the new Z06 on site. It's one of them is like a battleship gray. The other is a blue. I would not buy a blue Corvette personally. I would either have a red Corvette or maybe a black one, white. I'd like to have a convertible.
I built a 79 Corvette model and painted it metallic blue back in like 79.
Nothing wrong with
All
that.
the rage.
There you go. Arcade Development Services. Reach out to Daniel Rollins and let him come and help you. If your next project, barn dominium, a big slab, you want to extend a patio.
Metal buildings is his specialty.
He's good at it. He's building a huge sports complex right now over there on Kerr Boulevard.
Right by the VCS companies.
Yep. Reach out to Daniel anytime. Went Services, Went Electrical. Went does general electrical contracting. Everything from building schools and hospitals to helping you remodel all the way down to they've helped me put new ballast into a light that, by the way, if you have a normal incandescent, the tube lights, you can't just throw LED up there. It just doesn't mesh.
You have to change the ballast.
You have to change the ballast. Went can help you do that. And I promise you, in bulb replacement and in electricity, it'll pay for itself. USA Concrete Coatings, reach out to Charlie Garcia and his family.
578 Home.
578 Home. They'll come out, put down a tough as nails polyurethane coat. And what I'm seeing more and more of is they have the ability to lift, level, and seal the cracks in your driveway. You don't necessarily need a new pour. Although nothing looks any better. You find an older home and somebody invests money in redoing that home, nothing looks better than a fresh new driveway.
Yeah.
There you go.
What do they take your eye away from the street?
People are talking here. Whose brother is a dual citizen of Canada? Linda Chris. My brother is a dual citizen of Canada and the U.S. He left with his parents as a baby because he was born on a base in Newfoundland. That's Newfoundland. That sounds like a country song. I was born in Newfoundland. It was 12:30 here, but almost noon. He can go back to Canada. Junior says he told me yesterday, which he did. I can't deny. He hassled me, called me, bugged me, stayed after me. For $250,000, you can go buy property in Crete and become a citizen with an EU passport. That's significant. You can get on the rail, travel Europe. $250,000, you can buy like a small home on a piece of property and you own it. It's how Crete is encouraging the inflow of new people.
Wow, it's so expensive to live there. They've all left.
Right?
250,000. Is that Greek money or is that euros? Is that U.S. dollars?
That's probably cash dollar. That's probably Franklin's.
Maybe so.
Daniel Bird, I think
we've got similar things here. If you're a business investor, you can fast track your visa depending on the dollar amount. I think it's like $1 million or something like that. If you invest $1 million in the U.S.
Daniel Bird, just apparently wanting to have a skirmish with Tammy Keeling, just blurts out, make public schools more than a herding station. Vouchers should be available for families who have no faith in public school system. I'll let you and Timmy have that conversation.
Yeah.
On the side, on the down low. Now, I don't have a problem with this statement. Public school pushes to pass an exam, not teach kids to be productive citizens. Unfortunately, I kind of go along with that.
Critical thinking is not.
Yep.
They're not taught to question things anymore. They're taught just to accept what they're told.
Mark Kurtz says, Brent, can you sing tenor like 10 or 12 miles from here? My singing is a parody of singing. It's meant to be. I really can't sing. It's just meant to be terrible. Jim Hinojosa, good morning.
So the Fed's holding rates steady. No surprise there. But then they had to explain it all. Why do they have to explain why they were going to hold the rate steady? That's what I don't quite understand. But they do.
Well, because they believe that the American people are too stupid to figure it out. I think that's one of the main reasons Trump got elected. Yeah. You can say what you want, but people went to the grocery store and realized that they were walking out with 2 plastic bags and it cost them $59. And they're like, I don't understand. I know that I'm going to blame that on, well, unemployment's at an all-time low. The economy's booming. Something ain't right.
Yeah. Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, said that data suggests interest rates are no longer hampering growth, allowing the Federal Reserve to take a step back, monitor the trajectory of inflation, and let the policies of the new Trump administration, quote, be articulated before we can even begin to make a plausible assessment of what their implications will be, end quote.
Says here, it's kind of what everyone expected him to say. Besides, no one is going to pelt the Federal Reserve with eggs in protest at a time when a dozen will set you back $4.
Absolutely.
True story. Yeah, I don't understand. By the way, a dozen eggs is still, at $4 a dozen, still the best thing on the planet. Let me tell you why. You can eat 3. You got 9 left. You can scramble those 9 and make a dozen breakfast tacos. You can sell the tacos for $1.50 a piece. Tortillas are free. So now you've sold those nine tacos for $1.50
Why are they free?
A piece.
Because they don't stop you for shoplifting them? Because
you got $13.50 in your hand and you already ate 3 eggs and the eggs only cost you $4. It's still a profit deal.
Yeah, but not everybody's selling their breakfast tacos.
By the time you pay your taxes to the county for your hot plate, and then you have to pay for insurance with
grease trap.
And, oh, yes.
And
we've got to have an ANSI system. That taco needs to really sell for around $19.95. But wait, you get free steak knives with a set of tacos.
Well, and don't forget, once that foil comes back to be made in America, prices are going to go up on
$27.50. $27.50 for a taco. I have to tell you one. This is not meant to be an ad, but it will come off as such. Chopping block yesterday. I went in. Donnie had told me that they had $12 ribeyes, but I was a day late. And I went in and they had $12 fillets. So the fillet was a little bit bigger than my fist. I mean, 2 of them was a pound. So it's a half-pound fillet. And Donnie got out the classic. No, not the George Foreman Commander. Really? With the digital readout? No, Donnie got out the classic black cast iron skillet and put some butter in there. And she pressed some salt and pepper onto the steak and just and it came out a beautiful medium rare. And I'm telling you, and people say this all the time, I cut that steak with a fork. And it was thick.
Nice.
Well, I mean, one steak that was half a pound. Unbelievable. The meat at the chopping block
that's phenomenal.
Is where you need to get. I went in yesterday.
Go get the SPJ too, the salt, pepper, Jesus. I've been putting that on everything since I got a bottle of that stuff. It's awesome.
Well, I went in yesterday on Wacky Wing Wednesday. I mean, if we're going to talk about it, I got to try it, right? I mean, I eat at Para Vida. I eat at Veracruz. I eat. That's the key phrase.
Their Parmesan garlic wings are my favorite.
And that's what I bought. I took them home and, wow.
Air fryer? Oven?
Yeah, air fryer.
Okay.
Yeah.
John Anderson,
good morning, buddy. You know that Zippy's brother.
Yeah, I know. I've not met him yet, though.
He's a fantastic gentleman.
Jonathan Williams says that's a tiny, boring taco with the eggs and what did you say? Just eggs and bacon?
Well, no, just eggs and tortilla.
Yes, that is
I'm just trying to keep it below $30. I mean, I can add things. It is incredible how you can use half a dozen eggs and half a pound of sausage, and it's a lot of food.
Yeah.
That's a big taco. Yeah.
Hamas releasing the first of 8 Israeli and Thai hostages.
Is this her coming home?
It's one coming home.
She's the token. Look, she's pretty. Her hair's done. She's clean. She's wearing new clothes. I ain't buying it.
These guys in the Hamas still will not ever show their faces.
Yeah,
right?
You know how you're dealing with a coward regime when they show up and their faces are all covered up. They don't want to be associated. They can't be associated with what they're doing because they're war criminals.
Yeah. In exchange, Israel's expected to release more than 100 Palestinian prisoners, including around 30 of them who are serving life sentences.
That must be the really nice people.
Yeah.
Hamas released the first of 8 hostages.
8 for 100.
Yeah. I don't know a Jew on the planet that's making that deal. They're way too savvy.
Something
ain't right.
No, something's amiss here. And
this peace is temporary.
Absolutely it is.
John Paul Hall with a testimonial. Wings from there are easy and awesome. They're super duper wings. I like them. I would eat them. Melania won't. They get in her teeth.
Junior says he's hitting Veracruz Friday, 6:30 to 7 for Chicken Fried Friday.
Right? He says join us and we'll put it on the Wade and Carter tab.
Yeah, try that over there.
We
Tell
have a tab.
Leonida that it'll be on the Wade and Carter
Sure.
tab. See where that gets you.
She'll put you in the kitchen.
Yeah. You'll be in Guantanamo.
Right? From the 1440, Ash scrolling.
Former New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez sentenced to 11 years in prison on bribery, fraud, and extortion.
Dude, he's 71 years old. They found him guilty on all 16 counts of taking payments in gold bars and cash.
Which has earned him the nickname Gold Bar Bob.
To influence New Jersey criminal investigations and provide intel to Egyptian officials. What's Egypt thinking? They're going to take over the U.S.?
I have no idea. 3 other New Jersey businessmen all indicted in that scheme last year. His wife's trial has been postponed until March because she has breast cancer. 2 of the co-conspirators sentenced yesterday as well. Nearly a decade in prison for each of them and more than $1 million in fines. Jose Uribe, the 3rd businessman, is scheduled for sentencing in April. They're trying to let him get through spring training first.
I swear I almost said the 3rd baseman, Jose Uribe.
Former Cleveland Indians 3rd baseman.
Unbelievable. The 3rd businessman. The guy that wrote that loves baseball. He did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Jose Uribe, the 3rd the baseman. Rumor afoot that First State Bank of Louise Astros update, the Toronto Blue Jays, Toronto may be taking a closer look at one Alex Bregman.
Apparently they've got a 6-year deal on the table
at $180 million or so. I mean, they're saying what people are saying here is that when you throw in the state taxes and all that, that if he's getting $156 million here over 6 years, it's no different than getting $180 million in Toronto over 6 years. So Toronto really needs to come in, if you're being realistic, to make me want to load up, move, yada, yada, yada. You're looking at $200 million in order to do that.
Yeah, this is in USA Today had a list of, once Menendez was charged, they have a list of senators that have been charged while in office, and former Senator Caleb Bailey Hutchison was one of them. I'm just looking. The list seems to be about evenly, well, maybe pretty evenly split between Dems and
Dems
and Republicans. Maybe about it.
Kay Bailey.
12 others, yeah. Maybe,
you don't get
maybe
to
80,
indict
80,
Kay
split.
Bailey. Right. She indicts you, says the commander.
Musicians getting together for Fire Aid. Those old enough to remember Farm Aid.
That's great.
Willie still puts that concert on, believe it or not, or still plays at it. What was the other one? The one for We Are the World, Africa. I don't remember what the name of that one was. That was for famine relief in Ethiopia, but Fire Aid concert to benefit taking place tonight. Lady Gaga, Stevie Wonder, Billie Eilish. Let's see who else. Where is this going to be?
I don't know. Probably Austin. They got it all blurred out because you didn't pay?
Maybe so.
Man, we're getting nickel and dime together
we are,
by the media. We do subscribe to several venues. I can almost read that for fans who won't be able to join the event in person.
Where it was going to be.
I don't know why they do that to us.
They're going to play in LA probably, where, because
Dave Chappelle the other day said, you know why he had heard that the fires in LA were the most expensive thing ever. And he goes, you know why? Because there's lots of nice stuff in LA. He goes, I could burn 50,000 acres of Mississippi for $600.
absolutely he could have.
But here's the deal. If the same displacement and problems happened in Mississippi, nobody would care. And that's a shame. But because these rich people decided to build on hills that are prone to fire, in canyons that are prone to mudslides, the whole country's supposed to be up in arms. And it's the same way I feel about the folks that decide to build. It's one thing to have a fishing cabin. You go build a $2 million house on the Texas coast and it blows away. Don't cry to me. You can insure it. We call them 30 houses. It's 30 grand a year to insure it. It's 30 grand a year to maintain it. It's 30 grand a year on taxes. That's what it costs. If it blows away, I don't want the federal government down here rebuilding your palatial suite in Port O'Connor. Shame on you. We call that dumb. Build something down there that you can afford to have wash away. Go down and enjoy it when you want.
Thank you, Johnny Houghton. Live Aid, that was the one.
Live Aid. Very nice. Well, Wendy Hughes Garcia came in too with that.
I just credit the first. Everybody else is just copying what Johnny said.
Yeah. Well, it's because he's Canadian.
Yeah, the timestamp was right at the
But
same time.
Uncle Norm says not only good morning, but it's raining in Frisco.
That's why we don't live in Frisco. Norm, we don't like the rain.
That's right. Wonder if Norm's still working at his golf course up there.
Well, it's you bring up something because wildfires seem to be encroaching on humans more and more.
People are encroaching upon nature.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it still amazes me that how can the underbrush and all the scrub be responsible for the fires that continued to mow through neighborhoods when, guess what? There's no more scrub brush and undergrowth and dried kindling. We're talking manicured lawns. Oh, I know. Homes that are built with wood.
Yeah.
That's been dried and are close together. And an ember from one home gets to the next and ignites it. That's why, think about it. Think of the fires that happened just north of here a few years ago.
Like in Bastrop?
Yes. A lot of the homes that got destroyed there and a lot of that, they were spread out, but it was the forest that kept them going.
Mm-hmm.
The trees and the dry grass and stuff, right? For a fire like that in LA goes through Northcrest, I don't think the houses are going up quite as fast because you got a half-acre lot every lot. I'm just saying nobody wants to hold humans and the government who approved the zones and the plans for these houses to be built this far apart for any of this. Oh, it's just it's the mismanagement of the forests in California. Yeah, it played a role in it. You get a bunch of idiots going out and starting fires, and we're not even going to.
That's true.
We're not
lots of arsonists.
Not even that stories that just. Don't worry about that.
Have you ever cheated on a fire startup, like a barbecue start, where you get your blower out and blow it in there, and all of a sudden the charcoal poof lights? I can tell you from some of the video that I saw that the Santa Ana winds, things blowing at hurricane speed with immense dry air. There's just, once a fire starts, there's simply no way to put it out. I saw a McDonald's where the sign was just doing like this. The wind was probably blowing 70 miles an hour, horizontal, parallel to the ground. And I'm talking about, I watched a palm tree just kind of, it looked like somebody smoking a cigarette, and it was gone. Crazy.
Jared McCrugan says, funny when the scrub and underbrush survive the fires, but the homes don't.
Right. Junior Samples comes in with the conservation minute. Some pine trees require fire to open the cone, but the next generation of trees come in strong. There's a story in there. There's no doubt about it.
Those scorched hills in California will be green and flourishing way before the majority of the homes are rebuilt.
Well, the greenest grass in the county is right out there by Joey Stockbyer's place where that grass fire was about 2 months ago. Yeah. Nature's amazing. It's almost like God takes care of it.
And all the pressure to try to get California to relax some of their codes. And I mean, they're saying their codes are so strict that it's going to be 2 years before most people's lots are even cleaned up. Oh, we can't move that. That dust will start kicking off some carcinogens, and then
there'll be tremendous insurance hassles. I can't even imagine what it's going to be like out there just trying to get people to come in and all the people that
how many insurance companies are going to go broke or bankrupt?
State Farm's got a ton of them.
And they dumped a bunch of, we're not covering you again.
Do me a favor. I got to check on something. You just carry on.
All right, I will.
Right back.
Take our next break. I'll go there. We talk about Allen's? We haven't talked about Allen's, have we? Allen's Record Service. 578-6300. Give them a call for all your towing and wrecker needs. Allen's has you covered. Roads are a little slick this morning with a little bit of rain that we're going to get, so please drive carefully. I hope you don't have to use Allen's, but if you do, that's the wrecker that we always call, and they are awesome. Saw Allen's trucks out yesterday. Veracruz the day after Caldo Wednesday. Get in there today. No Caldo on the menu, but everything else is available. Simply the best Mexican food in town. Dollar Floor Store. Folks, if you haven't checked out what they have at the Dollar Floor Store, if you're looking to do some remodeling this spring, maybe you're tired of the carpet in the bedrooms, you want to put down wood or wood laminate, or you want to put down more carpet, you just want to refresh it, different tone. Maybe you're tired of beige or taupe and you want a gray. Gray's all the rage right now. Maybe you really want to be cutting edge and go Dusty Rose from the 80s.
I can confirm.
They will have you covered at the Dollar Floor Store. Carpet starting at 99 cents. They've got tile right now for 39 cents a square foot.
Here at the offices at 205, I can confirm that the front restroom is exceptionally clean. I got up at 5 o'clock this morning, no kidding, to start monitoring what was going on with the rescue efforts involved with this tragic plane crash. And I started my day, had a glass of water, had a Spark, a little fiber, another glass of water, but I'm ahead of schedule, see, by almost an hour. So I had to TT. There you have it. I think if I was really committed, I'd probably just get a catheter. Don't you think? What do those pilots do when they fly intercontinental? Do they just I
think they get up and pee.
Not in a F-35, you know?
Oh, those guys? No, they got to go.
They have like a little thing?
I think
They have to go before they go?
Yeah, that's the rule.
How do they go to the restroom? It depends.
Pee in their pants.
Depends. Lime green 3-inch shag.
We had a rusty orange. I would almost call it burnt orange shag in Wally and Tina's house growing up. It was phenomenal.
Will there be a resurgence of avocado green for Micah? Will that come back around?
I don't think so.
Remember when the rich people had the pink toilet and the pink tile and the pink sink, and then in another room
or the old
green,
people, blue.
Yeah, that was all late 50s, early 60s. Now everything's, like you said, gray is really in. My problem with buying a home that's predominantly gray is that in 5 years, when gray is not, just date your home, right?
Till it comes back around.
Till it comes back around.
The nice thing about gray, it's fairly easy to paint over.
Right.
Buy a house with green walls and try to paint them with one coat. Not happening.
Daniel Berg says, we had a sponge in a bag in the leg of the flight suit for restroom issues. Okay. Wendy Hughes says, we had a blue shag rug in my dorm room in college. That was
Sponge
also
in a
for
bag in the leg.
restroom issues.
That might take care of number one.
Right? And number
Make
two,
a mess of number two.
Carpeted bathrooms, no doubt. It's kind of matted.
There's nothing grosser than that.
Donnie just texted me, and I said on there, I'm on the radio. She sent back, I know. I'm like, okay. How do you say it in Spanish? Stop.
What's she have to say?
I don't know. She was asking me if I wanted to go to a workout. I'm like, of course I do, sweetheart.
Later.
What about Harvey Weinstein's New York retrial on rape charges is set for April 15th? Huh.
Yeah,
I mean, this guy just needs to go away, right?
yeah.
You heard any more about Diddy? Is Diddy still in trouble?
Oh, yeah, but nothing's come of that lately.
These people are like Weinstein, 72.
Convicted 5 years ago. Sentenced to 23 years in prison. That conviction overturned last April. State appellate court determined the trial judge erred by allowing women to testify about allegations that weren't part of the case. So then they indicted him on new charges. But isn't he already sitting in jail in California though?
So was
he's in Rikers Island. I think California then tried him afterwards as well, right?
Was the idea that so I accuse you of something, but then as a prosecutor, I put other people on who, with no real vetting, they accuse you of things too to kind of bolster. What happens is a jury says, well, if he didn't do that to Brent, surely he was involved in some of this. He's got this coming. And that's not really fair.
More than 80 women have accused him of sexual assault or harassment. I don't doubt it.
I don't doubt it either.
But we all heard the stories of the casting couch and all that back in the day, and nobody did anything. It was
No
part
doubt
of
that it
doing
was all
business
true.
with them, right?
Yep.
Weinstein found guilty of 1 count of rape and 2 counts of sexual assault in L.A. in 2022, sentenced to 16 years. So here's the thing. Instead of wasting all that money in New York, expedite him to L.A. and he can spend the rest of his life in jail in L.A.
There you go.
He's still found guilty somewhere. So the minute he walks out, let's say the new trial results in no conviction. He's found not guilty. They're going to extradite him to L.A. to start serving his sentence in California? So let's just skip this whole process and send him over there. They're appealing it there. He can sit in jail till the appeal's heard there. And if it doesn't get overturned, then he can sit in jail there.
Kathleen Leiniger, a trusted friend of the show, says, grew up in Southern California. Those Santa Ana winds are strong and fan those fires quite well every year. California used to manage the wildfires really well with a really strong forest management program. Unfortunately, they succumbed to the environmentalist demands and stopped the preventative measures decades ago. No doubt they were disrupting some lizard or something, and they don't want you to rake the forest floor anymore. It's only gotten progressively worse to what we see now with these catastrophic fires. Any misstatements were my own. Her diction is perfect.
Well, and what was it, 10 years ago, they actually passed a state bill that was going to provide billions for forest management, and none of it ever got spent. I think like in 2014. And then just this last year, they passed another bill, and it was too quick to enact that. But they've known there's a problem, and all they do is appease the people by saying, look, we're taking action. We're passing bills. We're dedicating money to the cause. And that's where it stops in California. No actual action has ever taken place. And that's the problem. That's why Governor Newsom has just, since these fires, and he had to be on the public stand, nothing out of Gavin Newsom. Now that it's kind of stopped, right? Erica Briggs checking in and it reminds me that I was going to take this time to tell you all, if you've got kids, high schoolers looking for jobs, Paravita is going to have a job fair on Wednesday from 5 to 7 after school. It'd be great for servers and baristas who have experience for the new cafe, the Vita Cafe that Erica's opening up. Or if you're a professional in the food service industry and you would like a restart, a new start,
Management positions available.
go see Erica at Para Vida Wellness right there on Airline, and then, or you can stop by the job fair on Wednesday, 5 to 7. All positions.
Also at,
Yeah.
right, also at Parvita. That's where it is.
So
Go by and see her. And while you're there, I mean, you can get you some deviled eggs. You can grab some hummus. You can grab, there's all kinds of great fare there. When is it? Tell me the date of the
Wednesday, 5 to 7.
next
This
Wednesday.
coming Wednesday.
Okay.
Don't know the exact date.
There you go. She says it's going to be a cool cafe. Oh, cafe. Okay.
Yeah.
She had to correct that. I mean, I feel like, Anchorman. I'm Ron Burgundy. I just read what's on the teleprompter.
Yeah.
There are times that's true. Like if Kathleen mixed in an expletive in there, I would probably read it.
That's Wednesday the 5th.
Yeah.
There you go. 5 to 7.
We'll talk about it between now and then as well.
And the nice thing is you're not just meeting with some HR representative. You're going to meet with the owner, your boss.
First time she's ever checked in, I think. Awesome.
I think it is going to be a cool cafe.
Welcome, Erica. Yeah, no, we can't wait. It's not a franchise or a chain. No, she owns it. It's a great opportunity for a brand new facility. If you've got barista experience or if you've got management experience, she doesn't have a manager yet for that location.
Front end experience.
Or if you're Greek and have rear end experience.
She does need kitchen help.
There you have it. Check in.
Yeah, it's not a franchise or a chain. It's healthy eating.
Junior is laughing right now because he has a sick mind.
Yeah, well, he's been to Greece.
He has. He went back. The Navy man.
Let's see if there's anything.
The plane crash was CNN's top story.
Yeah, I'm just
talked
looking to
about
see if
that.
there's anything updated there. 64 people were on board the plane. There was some words that U.S. figure skating was on board, some skaters and coaches, but I have not seen confirmation of that yet. But there's a lot of people posting on social media. It's the deadliest aviation disaster in the U.S. since 2001, according to CNN.
American Airlines Flight 587 went into Bell Harbor, Queens.
Just after the 9/11 terrorist attack. There you go.
Despite the initial concerns, the NTSB found no evidence of sabotage. It was the highest death toll for any single airliner.
Yeah, there we go. Several members of the figure skating community were on board the jet, according to U.S. Figure Skating in a statement.
And it's comforting to know that
and two world champion Russian figure skaters were apparently on the plane as well.
Probably helicopter pilot error. Probably, that's my take. The airline was on approach to land, but without a mechanical failure, that is the highest death toll for any single airliner crash in U.S. history. 60 people, 64 people.
No, the one in Bell Harbor after November 12th of 2011 was, where all 260 were killed.
Oh, all 260 were killed. Okay.
Yeah.
And how did that plane go down? Cody says like
no
this.
evidence of sabotage.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Where was Sully?
This one could be air traffic controller error. Could be pilot error. Could be some sort of communication error. Maybe they were given an order or told what to do and couldn't hear it. Weren't able to confirm it. There's a lot going on with this thing that we're probably not going to know. John Paul Hall says Fox says there were no survivors. So
right.
Apparently.
Now, we had heard last night that they plucked 4 survivors out of the river. Is that not the case? Did those folks pass, or were they not actually alive when they were taken out of the river? And Junior Simple says, stop it. Yeah. Because he knows. Folks, we've reached the top of the hour. I don't know how it happens so quickly. It's an hour every day. There's so much to talk about every day, and we appreciate you indulging us with our weak sense of humor and our wicked torching wit.
I didn't want to get I wanted to get into it maybe tomorrow, but Astros GM Dana Brown had a pretty pretty candid conversation with The Athletic about how things kind of soured with Ryan Presley at the end of once they brought in
He
Hader.
wasn't happy.
And he says it kind of fractured their relationship. No, really? But most GMs aren't going to tell you that. I mean,
No,
I
but
kind of I appreciate his candidness with that stuff because it
We'll
kind of
get
gives you.
into that.
But yeah, it was a really good article. So
There's no getting around the fact that Presley still thought he had a tiger in the tank, and Josh Hader showed that he did not. Folks, we hope you have a great day. We really appreciate you here at Wade and Carter. Thank you for all of our great sponsors. Call us. We'll make you one. Bye, folks.
Bye, folks.
Well, I've been kicked out of my near every ball.